It's Saturday. Beautiful morning, afternoon rather. I got up late, like 11:30 or something, because I spent a couple of days cleaning my house from top to bottom. So that was exhausting. And except for this room, my studio, I still need to revamp this room. I gotta kind of rewire it, kind of redo it a little bit, and that's gonna be a couple days of work as well. And I'm just not feeling it today. I need to rest, need to just kind of chill. But something I've always kind of wanted to do, it didn't take very long, it takes a matter of minutes really, but something I've been wanting to do for a while is to record the opening chord of A Hard Day's Night. A few years ago, Randy Bachman got to go to Abbey Road Studios, and Giles Martin gave him access to all the tapes and everything that they had. Everything was on Pro Tools, kind of thing. And Randy said, let me hear the opening chord for A Hard Day's Night. And so they pulled it up, and he heard the multi-tracks, and he could hear what everybody was playing. And apparently, I think it was written down or something as well. So he described it at a concert tour, and it's on YouTube where you hear him describing the chord, what the different guys played. And I said, I've always wanted to try that. I want to see, if I could recreate that myself. And I did. So let me describe to you and break it down for you what the opening chord of A Hard Day's Night really is. Okay, so starting with the bass, the simplest thing of all. One note, Paul is playing a D note. So here we go. No big deal there. Okay, next we have John Lennon. So what did John play? John played a D sus4, which is a D chord with a high G instead of the F sharp. So here we go. Okay, so now this is where it gets difficult. George Bloody Harrison played this chord on a 12-string Rickenbacker guitar, classic 60s guitar. And how in the life of me he played this chord with one hand and a 12-string no less. I don't know how he did it. But George had incredible fingers from all the videos, and I could see his fingers were amazing. So what he did was that he played an F chord, no big deal, there's an F chord, but he did an add 9, so he added a high G right there, but took the bottom 2 strings and he added the G, the C to go with it, and then of course the rest of the chord that he had already worked out. So that with these 2 things lined up, so he did that, but he did it on a freaking 12 string, and I don't have electric 12 string. So what I'm going to do is doing a little studio trickery is I'm going to recreate a 12 string effect by using a 6 and playing parts separately. So the bottom 2 strings, the 2 high note ones, the B and the E, you're playing this, which is the C and this G together. And I'm going to record that on its own track. And the reason for that is because on a 12-string guitar, those 2 strings are just doubled strings. All right? 2 of the exact same thing. Now on another track, I'm going to play the top 4 strings on its own. And what I'm going to do in that case is that when I record that track, I'm going to duplicate that track and I'm going to put it an octave higher, because the first 4 strings on a guitar, like a 12-string guitar, are octaved. They are basically one string is on a low E, saved in the E, and then the string adjacent to it is an octave higher. So I'm going to recreate that sort of thing electronically in the Pro Tools by doubling the track and then making one an octave higher. Okay, so here are the tracks I recorded. I'm going to break them down for you so you can hear what I did to each one of them. Starting with the bass, nice and simple. We go over to the D sus4 chord that John played. Okay, no big deal there. Here's where things start getting interesting. So this is the top 4 strings on my guitar, my 6-string guitar, and I'm just playing the top 4 notes that George did on that crazy chord. All All right. Now I duplicated that track and I did a pitch shift of a full octave higher. And I EQ'd it a bit because it sounded kind of funny, but here it is. And here I recorded the bottom two strings of the high B and E strings, and just those two notes that was in that chord there, and it sounds like this. But I also put a slight pitch higher, just a hair higher than the original recording was, and there was a reason for that. And here I've got those same two strings. I duplicated that track, and I added a chorus effect, and I kept the tuning the same, and you get that. It sounds like an 80s tune. And the reason why I pitch shifted the previous track was to give it a natural, slightly out of tune effect like it would be on a real 12 string. So now, here's what the whole thing sounded like together. And that's it. A little Beatles magic recreated.